Okay, Marshall Phonetics. I wanted to share a little video on turning my JCM 800 into an amp that has channel switching. I can't tell you how happy I am with it now. You know, gigging before I was using this Mojo Tone JTM 45 clone that I've changed the front end to super lead specs because it was too flubby. JTM 45 for amp specs. And really, it's you don't have to change a lot to do that, but I'm not getting into that today. What I want to talk about is how similar that amp is. Super lead specs are to JCM 800. So JCM 800, if you disconnect or uncascade the first preamp tube, you get the super lead. So basically, on a super lead, you got two sets of input jacks, normal and high. So through the 68Ks from the jacks, you'd have two sets. One set would go through the 68s here, and the other two sets of jacks would go through here. And they would just go down to the first preamp tube, uncascaded, clean gain stages, basically, into the third gain stage, and then basically into the third preamp tube, the phase inverter tube, into the power section. Okay, and that's why you don't get the overdrive you get out of it, because that first preamp tube does nothing but connect to the jacks to get signal, and there's gain there, but it's not like when you cascade it. So when they changed it, or how would you say that, when they came up with the design for the JCM 800, what they did was from the input jack, they just took a super lead, and from the input jack came through a 68 down to this side into pin 7, came out from pin 6 into this coupling cap, which I've changed to 0.0022 UF to get rid of the flub because I've added an extra gain stage here. And I did that actually before I added the extra gain stage because it gets rid of a little bit of flub, it tightens up the amp. Okay, I don't want to go off on that right now, so I want to get to the channel switching here. But anyways, it comes up to the gain pot, then back down to this other side, so it comes from this side through the gain pot into this side to cascade it, see? And then as you turn that up, this side pushes up against that side, and that's where you're getting all that distortion or overdrive. Then it comes out pin 1 through this coupling cap. Actually, I got these backwards. This one's connected to this side, and this one's no. I'm sorry. I was right the first time. Anyways, let me jump forward here. So, jack this side of the preamp tube through the coupling cap, goes back then to the gain pot to this side, back up through the coupling cap, and then into the 470s. Well, the channel switch these amps, you're just uncascading this side. So you go from the jack down to this side of the preamp tube, okay, through the coupling cap, comes out, let me find it, right here, this pink wire, and then you go to the switch. This switch switches to, for the clean side, switches to this preamp volume for the clean. Then it goes, let's see, let me think. From that volume, so from the jack to the tube, one side of the tube, through this coupling cap, to the switch, to that volume, just loops back around into the switch, one side of the switch, and then straight into the 470s. So that would just be just like a plexi. from the jack to this side of the tube, through the coupling cap, through the gain knob, and into the 470s, right? These are voltage dividers, or you could call them attenuator resistors, so that when from the first gain stage, it's like a voltage divider from the first gain stage into the second gain stage, or an attenuator, if you will, like a volume control, really, kind of, sort of, but it links it, just like, coupling. It's a coupling cap. It couplings the channel or gain stages. So, anyways, that's a plexi. Other than these two caps down here, we'll get into that some other day. But you get this really nice pushed clean sound. It's no different than that, other than you don't have the option of linking the channels to thicken it up a little. However, these JCM 800s, they have a stout sound. It's probably to do with the output transformer and so forth, but I'm not having a problem at all with it being thin, even with that smaller coupling cap for the clean channel. You can play these like push clean leads, nice blues for blues, So this amp now will do blues, rock, hard rock, metal. So getting back, you get these relay boards from Grainger. To show you how small they are. And it's awesome. The input jack is connected to the board, so it hooks up so easy. And then I got the daughter board to switch masters. And so if this helps, and you're looking to do a mod to your JCM 800 for channel switching, this is the way to go. Because, a lot of people will channel switch it so you're switching between the low input to the high input, and that's a different circuit. But that is completely different from what I did. I wanted this thing to be, it's already there. So all you have to do is uncascade it to channel switch to make it plexi. And it sounds fucking really good. And then, of course, when you're switching it to the dirty side, the overdrive side, this switch activates the cascaded side coming through this coupling cap into this potentiometer, the original overdrive channel potentiometer. And then I've got this extra gain stage I can turn on and off. So this is stock, and then when I flip this switch, that adds in this extra tube. And I'll get into that in a different video, because these, I'm probably taking too long on this anyways. But, if that helps, if you got any questions, just let me know. There's no reason why you can't make these channel switching anymore. I did have to drill one hole there. I did have to drill one hole. You don't have to. You could put dual pots in. Use the low input. If you don't add a gain stage, you can use the low input. You could put your master here on a dual pot. You could change the original preamp volume to a dual pot instead of even doing that. But if you've got 83 and up, you've got a DI. You don't have to drill a hole. There's already one there next to the speaker jacks. And use that for preamp, and then put your master here. I like to have a master on the front, so I can, when you're playing live, the drummer starts playing louder, the other guitar player or the bass player turns up. You got to be able to quickly turn up your overall volume. Obviously, anybody that's played live knows this. But because I added the gain stage, I just went ahead and drilled a hole in. Because, I got this amp, and it already had this shitty fucking wired in extra gain stage. They didn't know what they were doing. And they made a mess. They had soldered shit all over this board, and, I still got to clean it up. But I got it real cheap. And I got it so that I could modify it, because I didn't want to fuck up a new one. Anyways, if you got any questions, just let me know. I just thought I'd share. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I want to do a shout out to Jason from Headfirst Amplification. I've learned a lot from him. Not doing any of the Jake E. Lee mods simply because it's really not my flavor, but that guy's plethora of information. So Jason from Head First, if you're wanting to learn about this, especially JCM 800s, that's the guy on YouTube to go to his channel and check him out. He's just he's not one of those guys that's afraid to share information. The tube amp world is dying out there, and I feel like he's keeping it alive by sharing the information, because I think a lot of people shy away from these older beautiful tube amps because they're not as versatile as buying a Helix or whatever these new digital crap is. And I don't want to see the tube amp world die, and it's guys like Jason that are keeping it alive by sharing the information, helping us guys, making our vintage amps more versatile. There's a way to do all this completely reversible, other than you do have to drill a hole for that. But I mean, it's on the back. Even if you had a clean one, nobody's going to complain about having channel switching. I mean, anybody that's going to buy the amp to play live is going to want channel switching. So don't be afraid. I mean, you only live once, If JCM 800, like me, if it's the amp I grew up on, I've owned 16 Marshalls, and I don't want to go to this new digital. I've tried. I bought that orange amp, the Pedal Baby, and when the tube scare came across, and I just don't want to go there, and I don't want to make this video about that. But if you got any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'll help you out. I want to keep the tube amp world alive, so you got any questions, let me know. Thanks.